let's get into it. Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. 79 on this glorious day of January 12, 2017, and we have a ZVT to help cap off that very abrupt ending to that TvZ, which left oh so many of you disappointed and hungry for more, I assuredly hope. In the bottom portion of the map, representing our red Zerg player, it is Mars. And up on the top end of the map, trying to bring this arrogant Zerg back to Earth, it is Frudgey. Representing Chilico Gaming, I suppose. And let's get into this one. That last game, it seems, let's talk about the last game for a second before we fully get into this one. Well, all the players are getting their stuff up really quickly. Zerg probably going to go for a hatch first. Barracks and gas coming down for our Terran player, probably. No? I guess we won't be talking about the last game after all. Oh well, never ever lucky. You know, we're gonna talk about it anyway. So the Terran actually was not in a horrible position from that point. He just, before the last 10 seconds of the game, he was doing an okay job. He had an army supply, he had a tech supply. The Zerg was only on pure lings, and it by certainly all means was not an empty game. But unfortunately, our Terran player forgot to leave the door up, and supply depots have betrayed him for the first and last time of his Starcraft career. Now let's get into this one. Mars taking that low ground hatchery as opposed to the one in the natural base, which kind of baffles me. You generally only see this versus Protoss because it's kind of a safer base here, and you can lather on more aggression here, and you're more safe versus Adepts, blah 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 blah. But versus Terran, it just seems like the Reaper has so much more room to reign. Look at all this area he can utilize. All of this. Everything you see here is prime reaping territory. But let's see if that's what indeed Frudgey wants to make. And it looks like no gas at all. None at all. Only 2 extractors starting up now. Refineries, actually. And looks like the barracks is just there for moral support. Alright, Frudgey. My recommendation is more gas, more earlier. But that is okay. Seems as though Mars is gonna get that link speed. Yes, he is. Marines finally beginning production. 6 links on the way, and 2 queens as well for Mars. Oh boy, I've said this a lot of times. I'll say this again since I'm not a very creative person. ZVT is my second most favorite matchup. First favorite matchup is PVT because it's frustrating, but it's so close and dear to my heart. Always something to do, such a clash of styles, really amazing. But TvZ is just so iconic. It is amazingly iconic. You think about the most epic StarCraft 2 games of all time, you think ZVTs. You think if there's one matchup that survives everything, like if StarCraft... I don't know how to express that actually. If StarCraft only had if you had to show one game to someone who's getting into StarCraft, you would show them a ZVT. The classic macro, swarmy, overwhelming Zerg versus the scrappy everywhere, try to kill you with whatever crap he has, Terran. With a micro with Sugoi from both sides, and the bases are always under contention and never a guarantee. That's why I like ZVT so much. But I digress. 2 factories on the way. Damn right I digress. Wow, that is unusual. Engineering bay for moral support of these 2 factories, and wow, building the Great Wall is Frudgey, taking advice out of a very wealthy businessman indeed. Wealthy in the mind, however, probably not. Ling's making their way up on here and then saying, "Holy schmamoli of wall guacamole, we can't break that." And he is right. He needs to get through. Let's see, the easiest way to get through this wall would probably be like Baning bust that, and then Baning bust that. That's the only 2 supply depots. Or you can do what a Saiyan Zerg would do and drop it. Or maybe Nidus it if you're really inclined to. But it looks like it's going to be mech play for our Terran player Frudgey. And oh boy, I know everyone loves mech. Everyone can't get enough of mech play. Oh, no, not now, phone. In case you're wondering, that was an automated message from a Facebook account I made 4 years ago to download a mobile application. It's not something I'm proud of. Let's see what the Hellions are doing for Frudgey. Just hang down the main base for now. Is this Infernal Pre-Igniter? Yes, very early Blue Flame. So what we may see from Frudgey, this being Diamond League, is maybe a Hellbat attack? Blue Flame Hellbat timing? If you're getting it this early, I mean, you know, it has to be for something. This is an investment that could have been tanks or starports or additional gas-intensive units, but instead, just early Blue Flame, which no one can blame him for, I suppose. We're actually coming down on this factory. Probably gonna see Cyclones come out of this one, Tanks come out of this one, and Tech Lab Tank Cyclone is what my guess is gonna be. Or he can just stick to pure Hellions, whatever floats his boat. Hellions ready to roll out. Laden them up. Are these drones, or at least what he wishes to do to those drones? Grammatically occupied. Ooh, this creeper probably gonna dash and splash. No, Link's coming out to respawn. Just running straight into the drone line is Frudgey. I don't think he has the count to do that. It takes 4 Hellion shots to one-shot a drone, if I am not mistaken. Maybe they changed some stuff. 1 Hellion does get picked off though by the Lings. Good from Frudgey. Mars thinking to take a very early 4th base after the 3rd base barely is getting established. So, did Mars recognize that it is mech play? Because if he knows, then it probably... Okay, yes, he does know it is mech play. Okay. That's why he's taking the earlier 4th, maybe even an earlier 5th, if Overlords could morph into hatcheries. Oh boy, BM would be so much more exciting. Hellions making their way on back, gonna get healed up by their SCV friends, or just group up with their SCV friends, and Thors! Not siege tanks! Oh my goodness, oh boy, you are close and near to my heart, Frudgey. You know what touches a man. And just the right way. Blue Flame now finish up. Look how quickly these Lings die, it's not even funny. It wasn't funny before, it's not funny now, and there was nothing that could indicate it would be funny because Blue Flame is horribly good versus light units, especially Lings, which don't have a lot of health. Gonna see a Hellback transformation here any second, and it is 19 of 40 total army supply. Definitely can put some pressure on this 4th base via some client, but instead just running straight into the natural line. Decides against it, and yes, decides against it himself again. Trying to line up them drones. Light them up, says the Hellions. Light them up indeed. Frudgey running into the main base. Gonna catch 2 drones on the way there. Missed that one actually. Drone getting away with its life. Scared for all hell. Infestation pit being scouted out by Frudgey. Very early hive is on the menu for Mars. And it looks like he's gonna get cleaned up. Whew. After that ordeal, it is still 54 to 46 total army supply. And it looks like Mars may be able to afford, well, 7 mutas. Oh, okay, 7 mutas. I thought he didn't have anything. I was like, whoa, really rough spar timing, eh, buddy? But no, 7 mutas are on the way at various house locations, but Thors are here, and oh my goodness, have they gotten buffed versus air ever so slightly. I don't understand why not siege tanks, but you know what? This is Diamond League, and in Diamond League, people do whatever they want, and it works most of the time. They hear these phrases like mech, and they take their own spin on it, and it is beautiful 9 times out of 10. Alright, Overlord coming on in just to see how the Terran player is doing. The mules are dying, so probably not too good for that Overlord. Command center being made over here, landing over here with this command center, and if you are a mech player, probably a planetary fortress. I am stupid, it is an orbital command. And moving out with this Hellbat Thor timing. Wow, this looks so cool. It's probably not going to do a lot in all actuality, but it looks so cool, does it not? Ooh, catching these mutas out in the open. I don't think he's going to react very well. Yep, Mars definitely beating a couple of mutilas there. With that super early engineering break, you would have think there would have been some missile turrets, but no. But making his way down to this 4th base is Frudgey. I don't think there's nearly enough army supply for Mars. It is 29 to 66, and actually, he may just pray to push him all the way back to his main if he has his own time. Muta's doing a little bit of work over here, but Thor should be able to kill, if not all of them. And at the same time, meanwhile, Frudgey's making a move onto this 4th base, realizing there's absolutely nothing from the Zerg player. You have to be greedy versus mech, but you can't be this greedy, and blam, goes down the hatchery. Blorg, says the hatchery as it explodes. Queens over here wondering to each other, or gossiping about each other rather, about why Cleopatra did this or why this did that, because Cleopatra's a queen. And looks like the Great Wall of Spine Crawls may trying to get established, but probably not going to work. Lings trickling on in, not doing nearly as much as they need to. 20 to 74 total army supply. Is this the end? Oh boy, when you think mech, you don't think of 8-minute game at all, do you, ladies and gentlemen? But it looks like there's nothing left for Mars. 2 spine crawlers on the way. A poultry forest, if I've ever seen one. Looks like the drone's finally getting pulled a bit too late though, and clumping up against the Hellbats, especially horrendous. Trying to attack the Thors. Oh, the drones, never ever seen such a sorry plight. Oh boy, as predicted, Mars getting pushed back all the way to his main base, and good on Frudgey for recognizing that mech play does not have to never move out. It can always just oh boy, poor Midless. That mech play does not have to be static. In fact, more and more often, we are seeing these mech players go for strong timing attacks, and that is absolutely beautiful. They actually make it cleaned up by these Lings, if not take out a couple of Thors. Let's see what's happening though. 12 Lings on the way. Ultra Cavern is getting established. And 4th command center now floating on the way. 2 Thors are there. Not here, they're there. And yeah, Thors hate extractors apparently. Mars just being a little bit too greedy is what I feel. He knew how to play versus mech, but he didn't know to what extent. Oh well, 12 lings on the way. For Mars, if this timing just hit maybe 2 minutes later, then it wouldn't have been the same timing, but Mars would have been in a much better position to hold it. Baneling trying to get Morphin against the Thors, the last thing you want against Thors besides carriers. Or actually, they're pretty good against everything, aren't they? No, you know what? They are okay versus everything. Baneling's gonna come in, probably not do too much. Hive's getting targeted down. Hive does go down. Mars feeling the sting of this 10-minute Ultralisk Tavern. Baneling trying to get good connections, getting okay ones? They're okay? I wouldn't be mad at them. But it is down to 1 hatchery, folks. Long distance binding on a GG is called for Mars. Mars has been victorious and Frudgey. No, Mars has been defeated and Frudgey is victorious. Wow. Man, Mars, once capable of sustaining life, has now fallen to the earthly player. Good timing attack by Frudgey. Definitely something I like to see. Very intently, with much thought behind it. Got exactly the amount of Thors and exactly the amount of Hellions he knew he needed to push, and did so. And it turns out, Mars just a little bit too greedy for its own good. What I would have done to win the game, probably not have been so greedy. I like the Spire. The Spire was fine. The really quick infestation hit Hive and 4th base was probably not fine. If you're just content sitting on 3 bases, just be content sitting on 3 bases for a while. You don't need that 4th base super quickly versus mech. What else? Lings, also probably not the best thing to face this timing off with. Roaches would have fared a lot better. Corrosive Bombs are a good unit as well. Ravagers, not bad. But in the end, shoulda, woulda, coulda is the story of Starcraft. Starcraft, and that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Mr. 789. Go ahead and leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you want to check out more of my content. Leave a comment if you're so inclined, and remember folks, the internet could always use more heroes.